All right, so we continue on the text, and I'm going to try my best to wrap up with the textbook right here in this session. If you haven't had a chance to look at the ones I've sent out, please do, because this information is very helpful as you prepare for your provincial exams. All right, we are continuing in chapter 5. And chapter 5 talks about segregated funds and annuities. So we've looked at segregated funds in details. We've also taken a look at annuities in detail. So now, talking about both of them is more or less like comparing them with each other, and which I believe we already have the comparison. So we're going to quickly do a quick drive through the remaining chapters so that we can move on to solving questions later tonight. Okay, give me 1 second here. Okay, that's from my assumptions live. Okay, finding asset segregated funds. The client that wants to invest in segregated funds contracts can get segregated funds from through life insurance company. Uh, Also, the client that wants to also tap into the performance of multiple um, investment options, because segregated funds provide multiple investment options, in the sense that they hold investment in multiple investment. Okay. Yeah, so those are the people that segregated funds is suitable for. And then when it comes to analysis of funds or funds analysis, uh, agents will need to, stay up to date with performances of the funds. And that's why every time I sit down with clients, I don't bring up my say, okay, this is the funds that we use. No, I go through the funds and their performances with the clients, because those reports are out on a monthly basis. So you don't want to be using outdated information with your clients. So you need to know that. Um, Also, client suitability must also be established. Okay, so which funds is suitable for your clients, you need to know, and that's the whole essence of what we did in chapter 4, which has to do with investor profiling. All right. Okay. Information provided to the clients can be fact-based and opinion-based. So agents should be clear with the clients about which one is fact-based and which information is opinion based. Okay. Supporting segregated funds recommendations. Now, this is all about we recommending funds to our clients, right? So, what supports um our basis for all those recommendations? Well, the agents must use client's profile to determine, okay, which funds is suitable for the client. I already talked about that one. Get to move this down a little bit. Okay. Mm-hmm. Um, and also, we also need to know that recommendations that we are making to the client should be fund-based specifics. That is, like make recommendation to client based on specific fund, based on a specific, or more like is fund by fund basis. Okay, because the information around a particular fund may be different from the other one, so we need to be careful about that one. Okay. And ultimately it is the client who makes the final decision. So, like for me, I love to put the information out there and give the clients, let them know options that they have, and give them the tools to make informed decisions for themselves. Okay. All right. And then moving on to identification of the funds and its characteristics. Well, we identify the funds, through the recommendation will identify the insurers that provide the funds and how the fund is invested, e.g., in equity and bond. Like I showed you guys during one was in chapter 3 also the fund specifics that this day, and we can see that through the fund files I've already showed you guys behind the scene. And deposit and funding, well, the investor must indicate how much they intend to invest. Okay, there's what we call lump sum contribution, whereby they can put their contribution, like if they have 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, they can put it lump sum, or pre-authorized debit payment, whereby like, okay, I want to be making $50 contribution every month, or $100 contribution every month. They can also make a transfer from an existing account. For example, if they have a registered account with another institution and they want to move it over, they can do a transfer as well. Okay. And also, some insurance company have maximum contribution limit. So we need to look into that. Okay. Moving on. Okay, I think there's something. Oh, I needed to have scrolled down. Okay, deposit and funding, and also the following example shows how, same nominal. Okay, then net asset value per unit. Well, net asset value per unit changes on a daily basis, because when we put in the money at the end of every day, the gurus, the managers of the funds, they're taking the total of what they realize that they and divided by the outstanding shares, you see, to arrive at the NAV of that day. So now on the day you invest the money, so that's the net asset value. For example, the funds that have 75 guarantee, the net asset value per unit may be this. The one with 75, another fund with B might be having net asset value of this or that. Okay. And how this, and I've told you guys the net asset value is arrived at the total amount, of the trades divided by the outstanding shares. Okay, that's how the insurance company arrive at the net asset value. So I've talked about direct deposit, talked about transfers, and I've also talked about periodic deposit. Okay. Um, Now let's take a quick look at this example right here. Chris has a segregated fund contract set up on a basis of periodic deposit that provide a 75/75 maturity and death benefit guarantees. I'm not going to start explaining 75/75 because I've delved into that. I've broken it down in chapter 3. So if you haven't watched that, I think it will help you a great deal if you go back and watch it, because it's going to give you a lot of understanding of what are the 75/75 and how maturity guarantee is calculated and how it's different from Azuri protection. Okay, awesome. So continue reading this question. Yes, death benefit guarantee. At the end of each month for a year, he deposits 250 to the contract. Therefore, each of the 12 deposit is guaranteed at 187.50, which is 250 times 75% on each of its 12 maturity dates. Chris Chris's time horizon should correspond to the series of maturity dates. Well, basically, this what this is telling us is that now some maturity periods, some maturity guarantee tracks each deposit. So you could have one account and have multiple maturity guarantee periods tracking through it, because if you're making a monthly contributions, it means that you have maturity guarantee every month throughout. Okay. All right. Value of guarantees, we talked about that one. It could be 75, it could be 100%, but 75 is the baseline minimum. Okay. And maturity guarantees, I've talked about that one, so I'm not going to go into it here. Death benefit guarantees, I've talked about that one. And I've also explained to you, when you see 17500, how do you know which one is maturity, which one is death benefit? Just know that the first one usually is the maturity guarantee. Again, I dealt with that in chapter 3. Okay, contract maturity dates, we've discussed that one. Okay, the minimum maturity dates is usually 10 years, but that doesn't mean it cannot be more than 10 years. It could be more than 10 years. And when it's more than 10 years or from 50 years and above, then the client should also show a relationship between hire, guaranteed, or whatever. And then we've also talked about what is this one? Okay, let me just leave that one for now so that I don't digress. Okay. Principal risk of segregated funds. What are the risks associated with segregated funds? Anyways, the risk associated with segregated funds rated as very low, low to moderate, moderate to moderate or high. And this rating is based on historical volatile of the funds. Yeah. The level of risk of the fund depending on its underlying investment. Yes, we talked about this, and I even showed you guys on was it in IA uh or La Capital? I know I've dealt with this already because I showed you guys the funds that invest in low risk, or the kind of the line funds that they have, and then the ones that is high risk, how they invest in equities and whatever, whatever. All right. Mhm. So the underlying fund is what it makes they determine how risky they are. Okay. Funds are also subject to specific risks based on their type. For example, bonds have its own interest rate risk, right? And the inflation risk as well. So when preparing and giving recommendation, it is important, for the agent to consider the risk rating of each recommended funds, and then the form of risk associated with the fund, that is equity risk and inflation risk. Also, the risk tolerance of the investor is important to put into consideration as well. The reset option, yes, this is the one I was going to say, but I decided not to say it so that I say the reset option is one benefit that comes with segregated funds, and I've also talked about the reset option in the previous chapter. So I'm not going to go into that again because, like I told you guys, I want to quickly go through this, and complete the entire text so that later tonight we can start solving questions, because some of you will be writing exam on seg funds in a few days time. Okay. All right, so we move on to contracts and riders. All right, so an agent should address whether a rider is needed as part of the recommendation that will be made into the client or not, right? And also fund taxations. There are taxes as associated with the different plans that um a a client may have. The taxes, how taxes is applied to a registered plan is different from how it applies to a non-registered plan. So, and also how the ACB, which is the adjusted cost basis, are calculated. So all this we need to explain to our client. Also, we have fund sales charge. Okay. Now, the fund sales charge can be a load or a no load sales charge. Okay. So, and all these sales charges is determined by the time horizon of the client, how long this client have to stay vested in this fund. And so having the conversation with the client to do know how long they intend to stay vested will help you make the right decision as to which sales charge to select for them. Okay. Mm-hmm. For instance, Mark proposes to invest 10,000 in a segregated fund recommended by his agent. It has a 5% front end sales load. Mark investment is reduced by 500, which is 10,000 by 5%, so that his initial investment becomes 9,005. Allison has invested in a segregated fund that provides the following. Hmm. You see, this is charge withdrawal. So yes, all these things are things that we need to explain to our clients, okay, before they move on, decide which options they want to move forward with. Okay. Our fund management expense ratio, that is MER. Well, the management expense ratio of a fund is a percentage of the management and operating expenses related um, to the average value of each of the fund's assets. Okay, the MER is charged regardless of fund performances or not. Okay, the trailing commissions are paid to the agent from the management fee and are one of the components that make up the MER. The MER are amount charged as trailing commissions and are clearly discloses in the fund files. Okay, all this MER is in the fund files, and I showed you guys the fund files. Remember that place I went to either on La Capital and IA to show you guys, where I showed you guys also the guru. This MER is the money for all those gurus that manages these funds, and also the trailing commission fees that is paid to sales agents. Okay, so there's sales charge and also there's management expense ratio. Okay. Fund details. Well, the details of the funds are usually stated in the fund facts because that's where we gather the data about the performances of the funds, for the past 10 years, 5 years, or whatever, and then the holdings of the funds. That is, what are the asset classification of these funds? All those are in the fund facts, and it's important that we show our client all those details. Okay. Delivery of the fund files. Well, fund files are part of the information folder and are delivered in person, electronically, via email or whatever. So now COVID have really changed the dynamics of how we do business as advisors. See, before COVID, all these fund files will be delivered once an investor or a client sign up for segregated funds. Then once it's approved, then the agent goes to deliver all these fund files. But now we don't do that. The insurance company mailed out to the client directly, right? Mhm. um but again, we still have to go by the text because the text cannot be updated to reflect the new dynamics that is brought upon us by COVID. Okay. The client must acknowledge either in writing or in conversation with the agent that they have received the information folder. Okay. The delivery of financial statement. Well, the financial statement shows elected financial information about the fund, and they are not provided with the information folder. So clients may submit their request for financial statement to the agent directly, to the insurer providing the funds. All right. Well, total value of the funds. This dollar figure shows in the fund facts for the funds that reveals how much is invested in the funds and all that. Okay. Fund units or net asset value. That's the one I talked about. Okay. So the number of units outstanding and the net asset value per unit are shown in the fund facts. So, and the market value, the to arrive at the net asset value of the funds. So the market value of the fund, which is determined at the end of the trading date of every day, will be divided by the outstanding number of shares. That's how the net asset value per share or NAV is arrived at. Okay. Date of inception shows up when was this fund created, when did this fund start, right? So that's why you see that in some fund files, the 10-year record, you don't have anything. So it means that that fund was introduced less than 10 years, all right? Performance data, funds manager, portfolio turnover rate, all that are in the fund files. Um, Moving on, funds penalties. Yes, this talks about account closing charges. How frequently can we switch? Because the one of the benefits that we enjoy in set fund is the fact that when one fund is not performing very well, we can switch to another fund. Okay, but some segregated funds put some limitations on that. The ones that I do, we don't have any limitations, so I can switch them at any time. Fees to set up registered account. short-term trading fees, unscheduled withdrawal, or stuff like that. Okay. Finding for an annuity. Okay. So all the ones we've talked about is finding for segregated funds. Okay. So for our client that is looking into annuities, what do we do for them? And how do we support them through that process? Sorry, I'm looking for my highlighter. My voice keep coming to my table and don't find my highlighter. Anyways, it's not here. All right, I guess I'm going to keep going. Okay, finding for annuity. An annuity investor or an investor seeking to invest, seeking income is a likely candidate for a payout annuities, right? When you have investor that is looking for or a a payout or irregular streams of income, then perhaps annuity is way to go, right? As with segregated fund, the agent must satisfy the principle or suitability. Just like seg funds, we need to know, is this what they are looking for? Is this suitable for them? You see, I have a client came to me some months ago, like, okay, we have this money, want to put it, and we want, to be getting spit some money back to us. So they want immediate annuities, and I look at the amount they want to invest and the amount they want to be taking out. I told them that if you want to be taking out this amount, you'll be eating into your capital. And in X number of years, your money will finish. So I won't recommend it. Because I look at them and I told them, well, this would be a good plan if you have a longer time horizon, like you put it, you defer it, and then you start taking money, or you take a lesser amount on a monthly basis. But they wanted something bigger because annuity is not for that Christmas. Anyways, all right. So it's also important as agent for us to analyze the benefits and limitations of annuity before making that recommendation to our client. And we also need to have documentation to support the every recommendations we are making to our clients, to support our recommendation for an annuity. All right. Okay. By answering some of the questions, is annuity being created for income savings, and how many lives, is the client looking to take annuity of? Will income be a level payment or variable, right? And how would the contract be funded? And which form of taxation will apply? All these are things that we need to look into before we make annuity recommendation to our clients. Okay. Uh, Supporting the annuity recommendation. Well, an agent may find that the characteristics of annuity makes them the preferred choice for the investment based on the client's investor profile. For example, if income is a priority, then an annuity may be the best solution to provide the required income. Okay. As an agent, we need to equip ourselves with a sound knowledge of all these investment options or what annuity characteristics of annuity, so that we can help our client with the necessary information that will help them to make an informed decision. Okay. 1 second, let me see. Okay, I will respond to this afterwards. Okay, types of annuities and its characteristics. Well, we have different types of annuities. We have immediate annuities, deferred annuities, then accumulation annuities, and all that. So it's important that we know the different characteristics or different types of annuities so that we can determine the one that is best suitable for our clients, right? Um, Also, we need to also look into the minimum or maximum amount that this client is looking to invest, their time horizon or the maturity period, timing of payments. Okay, if it's based on annual, if it's based on deferred annuity, so when are they looking to start receiving payment? Or better still, if it's immediate annuities, when are they hoping to start receiving payments? Okay. Alrighty. Immediate payments, I talked about that one. Deferred payment, I've talked about that one. Annuity rate, well, the annuity rate offered is a function of what rates the insurance company is proposing. There are different kinds of rate. There's fixed income rate, variable rates, and there's value of the guarantees of annuity as well. So all these rates thing, we've explained it in the previous chapters. Okay, that's why you see me like boom, boom, boom. Show this. Okay, life annuity guarantees. Um, the life annuity guarantees annuity, period on the life of the insured if it's a single life, and then the annuity will be paid to the beneficiary in the event that the life, uh, the annuitant passes away. Okay. Uh, Return on premium guarantees. Well, return on premium guarantee is a rider that can be added to an annuity contract which pays beneficiary full deposit to the contract if the annuitant dies before the first payment. Okay. A principal risk of annuity, then an annuity penalties. Annuity have some restrictions we need to know so that before making recommendations about annuities to our clients, we know exactly what we are recommending to them. Okay. Okay. Chapter number 6, segregated funds contract. Okay, we are moving on to chapter number 3. Sorry, I have to move really fast because we need to wrap this up. Where's my highlighter? Oh, found another one. Okay, so we'll be looking at segregated fund contract. Again, this one, see, what is a contract? A contract are legal document that binds their parties, that binds both parties, okay, to in a particular contract, okay, and the conditions, that applies to them. All right. The contract between insurers and the investor for a segregated fund is an individual variable insurance contract called IVIC. All right. The EVIC spells out how to buy, terminate, withdraw, and receive benefits from segregated funds investment. Okay. Let me see here. Look at it this way. We when we do life insurance, um, we get policy, right? So this EV, this individual variable insurance contract, is what the investors in segregated funds get, that stipulates the details, terms and conditions of um, the segregated funds. Okay. The risk of the investment is disclosed in this document. Remember, don't forget, individual variable insurance contract. New exterior system able
or new exterior sister Mabel.
Okay. So now look at it this way. With insurance policy, you get your insurance policy. But with segregated fund, you get your individual variable insurance contract. Okay. And the risk of investing is disclosed in this contract. The insurer makes this commitment to their investor in the contract.
New exterior sister Mabel or new exterior sister.
Okay. Um, the guaranteed is stated in that. Then how to determine the value of the benefits, the percentage of the premium allocated to provide the best benefits. See, all the details, everything is stipulated in this contract. Okay. uh, then investor requirement, what is expected of an investor is also stipulated in this contract. uh, the investor have to be honest and truthful. The agent proceed on the basis that investor understand the decisions, that they are making. 1 second, please. Okay. Then also application forms for every segregated funds or whatever. There is an application forms that is being completed. So now we don't do manual application form for most investment companies. We do everything remotely. But again, those application contains uh, every information that is needed to be collected about the investor. Okay. um Registered or non-registered talks about if the segregated funds account can be a non-registered or it could be registered. It's a registered account if it's registered with CRA, and the registered accounts are like your TFSA, your RRSP, and your RIF. Okay, those are the registered accounts. Okay, there may be age restriction of certain types of locked in account. All right. And then registered account has specific requirements and limitations. Exactly. For TFSA, you can't contribute more than 6,000 in a year. And for RRSP, you have to be careful so you don't exceed your maximum contribution room for that particular year. Okay. However, a non-registered account, allows um, the investor, who is not a contract owner, to be the annuitant in terms of annuity. But in a if for an annuity, a registered account, the policy holder have to be the same with the annuitant. Again, I've explained all that, excuse me, in the previous chapters. Okay. Riders and elections of funds. Okay, I want us to read this. It said that Jill set up a spousal RRSP in the name of her husband, Jack, and makes contribution to it. Jack is the owner and annuitant of the plan, and he alone can name its beneficiary. Yes, that's what I just told you guys. That for a registered account, the policy owner and the annuitant have to be the same. Okay. Because in this example, even though Jill set it up for her husband, Jack, Jack is still the owner and Jack is the annuitant. Okay. Rider provides payment options on lifetime or end date and then offer space to fill the correct forms and must be blah blah blah. Okay. Clients identification requirements. Every time we set up segregated funds or annuities and all those investments, we need to collect clients identifications. Okay. Um, but there there's always questions around this client identification. And always the question is to look for the wrong answer. You'll see a question that says, okay, the following are form of identification except you're going to see driver's license, citizenship card, passport, and the driver's insurance or something like that. See, driver's insurance is never a form of identification. Okay. Uh, okay, so we move on to funding the account. Now, we've talked about this in previous chapters as well. Funding your investment account, your segregated funds, you know, can be funded through check deposit, transfer from another account, or can do a lump sum. Okay. And you can also transfer, like in terms of RRSP, you can transfer from your RRSP into RIF. So RIF is a continuation of uh, RRSP. Okay. Agents requirements. Oh, there's some important information here I'd like to go over for you guys. Okay. Pre-authorized deposit, we can do funding over the account through pre-authorized deposit. Um, okay, here, nothing from here. So an RRSP locked in retirement account, LIRA, also called an LRSP, which is locked in retirement savings plan contract, can accept deposit until the end of calendar year in which the person turns 71. Okay, so after 71, your RRSP, you know, have to either you withdraw your money or transfer to RIF. Okay, to continue tax deferral, the following conversion can be made: an RRSP to RIF, which is registered retirement income fund. Okay, a LIRA, which is a life income retirement income fund. In Saskatchewan and Manitoba, the life income retirement or this one LIRA and LRSP to a prescribed registered retirement income fund can be made. Um, if an account must be transferred from one form to another due to attain age, then the insurer handles the change. Okay. The contract owner is set up with the proper account and the same fund. All right. So, agent requirements. What are we required to do as an agent? Okay, as an agent, we are required to meet expectations of the client and the insurer we represent for pre-sale activities, completion of the transactions, and even after the sale is made. Okay. Meeting carriers' expectations. Well, so now we as agents, we are not only meeting the client expectations, we also have our carriers' expectations to meet. For instance, we represent SSQ, La Capital, IA. All those carriers have expectations for us to meet, right? So as agents, we are expected to meet all expectations of the carrier of the volume of business client contact accuracy, and all necessary record keeping. Okay. Do. Okay, so moving on to contract must be delivered to the investor in person through registered mail for the purpose of now again because of COVID, insurance companies sent this to the clients now. Um it's included it includes other blah blah blah. Anyways, information folder. The information folder describe all features of segregated funds and how they work, specific funds, details, and all that kind of stuff. Details are provided in form specific. Okay, information folder. The information folder describes all the features of segregated funds and how they work. Specific fund details provides in fund facts, which usually accompany the information folder. See, and the purpose of the information folder is to provide brief and explain disclosure on all material facts relating to the e-fix issued by the insurer. So you see three information running through here, right? We look at information folder, fun facts, and then individual variable insurance contract, okay, which relates to what's it called, segregated funds. So all these are in information folders, okay. Fun facts. So the fun facts, these are the example of the fun facts, and I've showed you guys fun facts before. Okay, good job, girl. Remember I showed you guys. So I'm going to click through this. Okay, all these are fun facts. All right. Ongoing service requirements. We're talking about what we do as agents now. You see, post sale follow up, monitoring the client, checking with the client, monitoring the product, annual client review, handling deposit, making fund switches if necessary, reset options, and changing beneficiaries designations and renewing contracts. Okay. So all these are the things that we help our clients to do. Okay. And all that is being described in details here. But we've touched on them at some point. Reset options, renewing contract, that is when their contract, then claims. Yeah. Claims can be made by the contract owner, for withdrawal, surrender, and maturity. So by a beneficiary or an estate trustee or whatever. So by the person in control of the contracts, right? Mhm. Maturity claims and death claims.
Unknown caller.
Okay, 1 second, please. All right, so we talked about claim, maturity claims, and death benefit. Well, those are the things that we help, the clients to do. Okay. Termination and surrender claim. That is when the client said, okay, um, I don't intend to continue again. You see, and then surrender and stuff like that. Okay, withdrawal form. The request for a withdrawal is initiated by the contract owner, okay, and the withdrawal form is used to both close the contract by withdrawing the total value of the account and to make partial withdrawal, okay. And these are the information that you can see on withdrawal forms. Somebody is going to ask you what information. Okay, power of attorney claim. We've talked about power of attorney and factors that may affect claims. Well, the amount you receive in a claim may not be the same amount anticipated by the contract owner because he must fully understand the effect of withdrawal, cease charges, guarantees, and all that stuff. Maturity and death benefit guarantees, talked about that one. And then we've also talked about allocations. So when a segregated funds generate interest, dividends, or capital gain, that income remains in the funds and it reflects in its units, right? Mhm. All right, so everything we've looked at, those are uh, segregated fund contracts. Okay, so we're going to look at annuity contracts, which is 39. Okay, so annuity contract is pretty much similar to segregated fund contracts. Okay, in the sense that the life annuity and term annuities sold by insurance are insurance policies. Okay, so again, these are going to talk about annuity and all those kind of the annuity rates and all that stuff. Investor requirement: the investor must assist the agent by providing all required information for the application form. Of course, you know, you see, when you look at all these things, everybody have their obligations. The insurance company have their obligations, the agents have their obligations, the investor have their own obligations. Of course, we also need to complete application forms. Even though we are doing everything remotely, we still have to complete some form of application. Okay, registered or not registered annuity. Well, a contract may be issued for a registered or not registered annuity, right? A registered contract. What's this one now? Okay, gotcha. Okay. Um.
Any I or three
Oh
others.
my gosh. Okay, so just like segregated funds, annuities can also be a registered or a non-registered annuities as well. Okay. Um, let's move on to naming annuitant beneficiary. We've talked about this. If for a registered account, the annuitant, okay, the owner of the policy have to be annuitant, and is that owner that named a beneficiary. Okay. And two annuitants must be named in a joint annuity, okay? And the annuitant and the joint annuitant, also called the co-annuitant. The beneficiary must be named in the application except in the annuity, except if the annuity is a life annuity with no guarantee period, okay? If it's a life annuity with no guarantees, then there's no need for beneficiaries, right? So the beneficiary can be designated revocable or irrevocable. All right. Owners identification requirement. Well, we talked about it. You know, how do we identify ourselves? Um, Owners of segregated funds contract and identification requirement apply with immediate and deferred wherever. So the owner of annuity contract must provide evidence of age and each annuitant of each annuitant. And then if owner is a legal entity, then its identity must be confirmed by specific documentations. Okay. Funding of the contract. Well, the contract can be funded through personal savings, okay, um, guarantee investments, GIC or tax-free savings account, and all that stuff. Okay. A registered account can be funded by transfer of funds from RRSP at the same or in the same financial with the same financial institution or a transfer. Okay. Pretty much similar to segregated fund. Registered funds from the following accounts may also be transferred to the registered annuity contract: registered pension plan, RPP contributions to a defined contribution pension plan, or a recognized participation amount from a defined benefit pension plan can be transferred to into an annuity. Registered retirement income fund RIF can be transferred into an annuity. Locked in retirement account LIRA, life income fund LIF, locked in retirement income fund LRIF, deferred profit sharing plan, described prescribed retirement income fund, and restricted life income fund. All these registered account can make transfer into an annuity. All right. Okay. Agent or services of an agent, contract delivery, ongoing service requirements, all this that we saw, in terms of what we do for segregated fund investor. We also do similar things for um and annuity investors as well. Change of beneficiaries, life happens, things change. So, and that's why it's important that we constantly touch base with our clients, know their needs at any particular point in time. Handling deposits, okay. Deposit may be received by the agent's cash or check. Well, you see, this their tech, they have many, we don't, many things that were happening in the past, right? All deposit must be handled securely and forwarded to the insurance company without delay. Okay. Well, but now we don't take this, everything is pre authorized, right? We also assist our clients with their claims, processing of claims, and there are different types of claims. There's payout and accumulation of annuity. Claim may be made by the contract owner for withdrawal or surrender of their annuity. Okay. There's also death claims, right? Mhm. This is a summary of who makes death claim in an annuity contract when an annuitant dies. Okay, types of annuity and then claim. Well, term annuity, prior to the end of the term, the beneficiary makes the claim. Life annuity with no guarantee period, a claim cannot be made. Okay. Um, all right. So when it comes to a life annuity with a guarantee period, then the beneficiary during the guarantee period, no claim may be made. After the end of the guarantee period, yeah. So during the guarantee period, of course, the claims can be made by the beneficiary. Okay. Joint and life survival annuity, death of the first annuitant, no guarantee period, surviving annuitant makes the claim. Okay. Joint and life survival, the death of the second annuitant, where there is no guarantee period, and when the last annuitant dies, no claims can be made. But joint in last survival with death of the second annuitant with a guarantee period, then the beneficiary can make the claim. Annuity with return on premium rider, beneficiary makes the claims. Accumulation annuity, beneficiary makes the claim. Okay, so that's the basic summary of the. We have some examples here. I'm not going to start going to reading those examples. I guess we will deal with some questions later on tonight. So, transfer of annuitant in joint contract. Well, a joint and last survival annuity contract name both a primary annuitant and a secondary annuitant. Of course, if usually this joint annuitant thing is usually for husband and wife, such that when the first spouse dies, then the second spouse continue to receive the annuity payments. So the primary annuitant received the payments from the annuity for his lifetime, and after his death, the second annuitant received the payment for life from the annuity. So the switch is initiated when proof of death of the primary annuitant is provided to the insurer. So let's say for husband and one spouse dies, then the surviving spouse will have to notify the insurance company with evidence that the the primary annuitant is passed on, and then uh, the second annuitant will start receiving the payment. Okay, surrender and withdrawal of claims, power of attorney claims. A person acting in the position of power of attorney for the property may have the special form of complete as a third party in respect of the account or something like that. Yes. All right, factors that may affect claim: taxes, then the amount received as a claim or how it's paid will depend on whether a cash refund or installment refund has been chosen. Yeah, because sometimes for claims, cash refund or is lump sum or installment might be the chosen option. Okay, a claim cannot be made against a life annuity unless it is guaranteed. Okay, so if you have a life annuity and there's no guarantee in place, no claim. So if the person dies, the money is gone. So beneficiary is entitled to the guaranteed portion of the contract, and the beneficiary has no further claim after the guaranteed period. Okay, in concluding this chapter, let's read this example. Tara, at age 66, purchased a life annuity paying 3,000 a month with a 20-year guarantee period. So the guarantee period is for 20 years, right? And named her adult son, Rob, as the beneficiary of the annuity. Tara died 10 years later. So Rob, as the beneficiary of Tara annuity, will keep receiving 3,000 a month for 10 years. That is until the completion of the 20 years. And that's the end. Okay. Okay, so that I believe brings us to the end of this chapter. And we are moving on to this chapter 8, which is the last chapter. Okay, this is the last chapter, and we'll be talking about group retirement and investment plans. Oh, oh my gosh, I'm glad I'm able to, get this all together for you guys. Okay, so group retirement and investment plan. The guy came to take measurement. The guy came and took measurement.
The one I sent to him.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
took these three places, right?
Let me wrap up one sec.
Okay.
Okay. Group retirement and investment plans. This chapter examine agent's role in providing service to a client who is in group sponsored or administrator. We've talked about group plans a lot in this course. Group plan structures, where the group plan is compromises of sponsor, administrator, members, and insurer. Group plan sponsor, usually the insurer, okay, is the group plan sponsor because group plan is usually in a group, right? Mm-hmm. Uh, let's see. Uh-huh. The role of a plan sponsor. Well, the role of a plan sponsor is to design the pension plan according to the needs of its members, set the benefit structure for the members, establish, amend, and terminate the plan, and ensure that compliance with the regulatory requirements are complied with. Funding commitment by the sponsor, where a sponsor takes on the financial commitment to fund the group plan. In some instances, the funding is if contribution made by both the plan sponsor and the plan members. Okay, we've talked about all that before. Group pension plan administrator, that is, the plan administrator is appointed by the group pension plan sponsor. In Quebec, group plan with more than 25 members must be administered by a pension committee. Hmm. Often the sponsor is also the administrator. Okay. For defined contribution pension plan, the administrator may be the plan sponsor, okay, or board of trustees. Role of group pension plan administrator. Well, um, the role of a group pension plan administrator could range from administering is responsible for overall administration of the pension plan. Uh, oh God, this is number one is the administrator's primary task is to administer the plan in line with the acts of the government. The administrator has the duty to plan a fiduciary duty to the plan members. Yes. The administrator also ensure contributions are made by plan members. Also ensure that contributions are made by plan members. Administrator is also responsible for measuring employee satisfaction with the plans, blah, 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 blah. Data provided by the group pension plan administrator is the agent received the data regarding the group compositions, and then the group plan administrator guarantees that all the required information that's supplied by the group members. Okay. All these are information by the group sponsor, group members, all those stuff, right? Group retirement and investment plans. This talks about this provides investment and retirement savings for the group members, and these retirement and investment plans are associated mainly with employees. Oh, let me go back. There's something nice there that I want us to see. Mm. Okay, what are the benefits of group pension plan? Well, employee pension savings grow faster and larger due to employer contributions. Yeah. The value of the plans can be received by beneficiaries in the event of the death of the plan owners. Yeah. It's payroll deductions, so it encourages people to save. It's creditor protection of savings, except when the account is a tax-free savings account. So hey guys, you can see that TFSA, okay, is creditor protection of savings, okay, except when the account is a tax-free savings account. Also tax benefits and all that stuff. Okay. An existing pension plan may become unsuitable for its sponsor. It may not attract, okay, the talent of that company seeks. Yeah. Mhm. And instead of replacing a plan, there may also be good reasons to supplement one plan with another. You see, the whole essence of why many companies, have all these plans is to attract, their desired kind of employees, right? So at some point, if the plant is not attractive enough to employees, then the employer might have to be creative to supplement their existing plan with some features that can make it attractive to the kind of employees they are looking for. Okay. Plans available. Pension plans are either a single employer plan, a pension plan for a person who works for one employer. A multiple employer pension plan covers employee who works for two or more employers not associated with one another. Okay. Um, a defined benefit pension plan. We've talked about the BPP. We've also talked about defined contribution pension plan, which is the one that both employee and employer contributes. Okay. Then group life income fund and group registered retirement savings plan, which is GRRSP. Okay, this is like your RRSP, but similar features with RRSP, just that this one is in a group plan. So there's also group savings, all the ones we see in our group retirement plans, but there's also group savings plans, which is deferred profit sharing, which is this DPSP. Okay, deferred profit sharing plan is solely funded by employer contributions. Okay, and contributions to the plan arises from profit. So when the company makes profit, they put this and they share the profit and put it in this group profit sharing account for their employees. Group register retirement income fund is another one. Group tax free savings account and pool register. All this we've talked about it in previous chapters, and that's why you see me um, moving through it very quickly. So, group plan investment options. Okay, the group plan investment options could um, range from segregated funds for groups, and then we looked at the type kind of funds, which are the funds we've looked at before. Um, Now, advantages and disadvantage of group seg fund is the fact that segregated funds available to group members have particular characteristics such as no sales charges, no switches fees, no very low MER, and no maturity guarantee or death benefit guarantee. So the absence of these guarantees raises the risk of investment losses for the group members. Right? Mhm. So annuities for groups are provided for the group by the for the group itself. So group members and retiring group members, right? Mhm. There are different types of annuities that are available. There's DBPP, um, advantage and disadvantage of group annuities. A group annuities provide the dependability, income security, right? Also, group annuities have no flexibility for withdrawals. Pension payments are linked to the annuity rates at the time of purchase. Yeah. Okay. Group plans recommendations. Well, agents must diligently put together a group plans recommendations. The agent should consider the members' demographics. The agent should also consider the members' skill levels and expertise. Also put into consideration is the members' educations and members' loyalty to their employer, because the whole essence of the group plan is that it's meant for the members of the group. So if these members are not loyal to their employers, chances are that they are going to be changing jobs very often, right? Okay. Recommendation for a plan and its investment, pension credits and adjustment. Group plans documents. Again, just like applications, we do application for the group plan, but this application is not done for individual. A group application is completed first by the administrator on behalf of the group, and the application goes through underwriting by the insurer. And then once the application for the group is approved, then the group members can apply on their own behalf as they become qualified to join. Okay, there's members forms, so the members complete the forms is completed by the members. Okay, and which is provided through the group administrator. Okay. um, Account transfer. Well, a member with a locked in pension contributions may require to transfer their value of their pension plan when they are no longer working for the plan sponsor and due to retirement or a change in employer. So the administrator facilitates the transfer according to the instruction of the member. So, for instance, if a member is no longer working for XYZ company, so that member can transfer their plan to their existing employer, or, yeah, to their existing employer. Well, here are the transfer options. Um, the sponsor follows the instructions of the plan member, and when they leave, then options available for the transfer depends on the type of plan, whether the income depend on the wherever immediately or on a deferred basis, right? Oh, it just service requirements. Well, as agents, we need to keep abreast and stay in touch with our clients, okay, to review plan with sponsor, do like annual review, just like we do with our individual clients, you know, determine if there's a change in the circumstances of the employer. All right. And a claim by the group member. Well, a claim from a group member is initiated to receive the fund in the plan. So, to make a claim, a group member may need to provide the group name and certificate or identification number, and the appropriate claim form has to be completed. Okay. Claim for exceptional circumstances. Well, contribution to some group plans are the basis for locked-in savings. Withdrawal cannot usually be made by the group member when savings are locked in. However, there are some exceptions to the locked-in rule that allow the savings to be assessed. Okay, some of it is life expectancy of the contributor being shorted. Like if the plan member is diagnosed with some life-threatening sickness and their life expectancy is being shortened, then they can access even though it's a locked-in account. And financial hardship has to be proven. If financial hardship is proven, that this plan member have this money in this locked-in account, but their financial situation have changed such that they really in their need of this money. Okay, the member is no longer a Canadian resident. Or if you say okay, no longer a Canadian resident, well, okay, you can take your money. Then the balance of the account is less than a specified sum. Okay. Okay, so all that are um exceptions to when a locked in account can be accessed by the plan member. All right. And that brings us to the end of the text for segregated funds. Thank you all for sticking around with me, and I will see you later for the Q&A sessions. Bye for now.